Well, guys, we need to talk about something that should be national headlines all across the country. The mainstream media should be talking about this. This should be a top story in this country. Now, guys, we know that the Biden administration let a ton of illegal aliens into this country, and there's no doubt about it. They have been voting in our elections. But what actually makes it worse is that you actually have non-citizens and also probably illegal aliens too that have been elected to office. Folks, I was astonished, man, when I actually heard this news here. I was in the gym and I listened to Chris Salcedo every morning, and he dropped a bombshell that absolutely astonished me, folks. In Kansas, a red state, you actually have a Mexican national that is a mayor of a city. How does this happen, folks? How does this happen? Now, they're saying this man was a legal resident in the U.S., but he's not a citizen. And he has been busted voting in our elections. And that seems to be the main focus here on the media outlets that are actually covering this. But a bigger problem is, how was this man allowed to run for office? I found out something, folks. We all know that in order to run for office, you're supposed to be a U.S. citizen. But guess what? On a federal level, the federal government cannot verify that you are a citizen. They're not allowed to do it. How does that happen? Now, I believe ICE needs to get a detainer on this man. He needs to be in ICE custody. This man has broken the law. Now, the state of Kansas is actually going after him. That's good. But still, this is concerning. How is it that you have a foreign national in elected office in American cities? And I'm pretty sure he's not the only one. He's not the only one, folks. But let's go ahead and dive into this, man, because this is concerning. Here we go. Right over here, Kansas mayor hit with criminal charges for allegedly voting as non-citizen in several elections. Coldwater Mayor Joe Ceballos faces charges carrying a maximum penalty of more than 5 years in prison. But the bigger question is, how in the world was he actually allowed to run for office? Look here. It says Kansas leaders brought criminal charges Wednesday against Joe Ceballos, a mayor of a small city in rural Kansas, alleging he voted in several elections but is not a U.S. citizen. Kansas Secretary of State Scott Schwab and Kansas Attorney General Chris Kobach, both elected Republicans, announced they filed 6 charges in Comanche County against Ceballos, a lawful permanent resident from Mexico, for voting in elections in 2022, 23, and 24. Folks, as soon as this man broke our laws, he became an illegal alien. Ceballos is the mayor of Coldwater and previously served as a city councilman. How did that happen too? This man's not a citizen. States are required by law to have mechanisms in place to regularly clean voter registration lists, also known as voter rolls. The process includes using external databases to screen for non-citizens, which Kobach, a longtime immigration hawk and ally of President Donald Trump, said is not error-proof. Quote, non-citizen voting is a real problem. It is not something that happens once in a decade. It is something that happens fairly frequently, Kobach said, echoing the broad sentiments of Republicans who say voter fraud is a pressing issue. Now, guys, on Election Day in Maine actually rejected making people show voter ID. In Maine, This is astonishing, man. Absolutely astonishing. Ceballos' charges, which include perjury and voting without being qualified, according to the complaint reviewed by Fox News Digital, carry a maximum penalty of more than 5 years in prison. Ceballos did not respond to a request for comment. Kobach, who previously served as Kansas Secretary of State, has a long history of pushing for tougher immigration enforcement and stricter voter ID laws. In 2018, he lost a high-profile federal lawsuit after attempting to enforce a state law that required voters to provide physical documentation of U.S. citizenship when registering to vote. Folks, every person that registers to vote needs to prove they're a U.S. citizen. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. But Democrats don't want it. And look here, man. This is him right here. This is the illegal alien mayor of an American city in Kansas. Right there. That's his picture. This is astonishing, man. Absolutely astonishing. Let's watch this news clip, guys. Check this out.
The mayor of Coldwater accused of election fraud. The charges come hours after he secured a second term in office. Attorney General Chris Kobach charged Mayor Jose Joe Ceballos with 6 felonies, 3 counts each of voting without being qualified and election perjury. Kobach claims Ceballos is lawfully living in the U.S. but is a citizen of Mexico, making him ineligible to vote. The AG alleges the mayor illegally cast ballots in the August 2024 primary and November 2022 and 2023 general elections.
In large part, our system right now is based on trust. Trust that when the person signed the registration or signs the poll books saying that he's a qualified elector or that he is a United States citizen, that the person is telling the truth.
We reached out to Mayor Ceballos for comment, but have not heard back yet. The Coldwater City Council, though, released a statement on social media saying the mayor called them in for a special meeting over the noon hour to, quote, discuss recent events that have transpired with the Kansas Attorney General's office. While the recent allegations involving the mayor are understandably concerning, we will allow the proper legal process to take its course before making any further comments, unquote. Ceballos is expected to be in court for his first appearance on December 3rd.
Wow. ICE needs to get this man in custody right now. An ICE detainer needs to be put on this man. This man has committed voter fraud in this country. He's not a citizen. He should have never been a mayor. That's the most concerning part, folks. This man ran for office when he wasn't eligible. He should have been charged with actually running for office illegally. This is astonishing. How many other people have actually been elected to office in this country that weren't citizens? I'm absolutely astonished by this. He should be deported. ICE, I hope you're watching this video, man. Get a detainer on this man right now. And they're still waiting to certify that election that he actually ran in. So we don't know if he actually won that election or not. Probably did. But this man should not be able to take office. ICE needs to detain this man. He needs to be in ICE custody right now. And he needs to be deported right now. This makes no sense, man. This man is an illegal alien. Yeah, you're going to say, he was a permanent resident. No. Once you break our laws, you're not a permanent resident. You're not a resident here anymore. This man needs to be in ICE custody right now. Right now. Something needs to be done, man. This is a disturbing thing right here. And this is probably just the tip of the iceberg, folks. It's probably just the tip of the iceberg. This man ran for office, got elected. He's a Mexican national. Unbelievable, man. Absolutely unbelievable. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.